Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Hasrat. I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys have been following up with the news, then I'm sure that you already know that the job market is kind of saturated at the moment. Basically, the supply rate is a lot higher than the demand rate, which is why the unemployment is rising. Your resume tells your worth and your experience to your employer. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about some certifications that you can easily get in order to raise your worth and get better jobs. I think it's high time for people to boost their skill set in order to get a competitive edge over other people. Just an FYI that this video is especially for people who are new immigrants and for those who have just gotten out of their high schools and are probably on their first or second jobs. To them I say, welcome to adulting. So the first certification that I suggest you guys to get is Smart Serve. This certification guides you on the acceptable alcohol serving and consumption practices. It's obvious that if you have this certification, then you are eligible to serve liquor or work in a setting where liquor is sold or served. I think this certification is extremely helpful because most of the new immigrants or high school graduates start from entry-level jobs, such as working at fast food places, restaurants, gas stations, and grocery stores. And if you want to get a job at better places like high-end restaurants, cafes, or bars, then you need to have a Smart Serve license. This is because liquor is expensive and it is only served at high-end restaurants or bars. And you can make more money by working at high-end restaurants as compared to fast food places. And if you get a job working at big events or sports stadiums, then you can make a lot more money through tips. And getting a Smart Serve license is not expensive at all. It's an easy test and it can be taken online. Please note that in Canada, you need to be at least 19 years or older in order to get your Smart Serve certification. It's especially beneficial for people who are working in the hospitality business and for those who are seeking education in culinary. Just some bonus information, if you are interested in working in the food industry, then you'll definitely benefit from getting the food handler certification as well. To get your food handler certification, you need to pass another easy test which can also be taken online. I will be provided the link of getting both Smart Serve as well as food handlers in the description box below, so feel free to check it out. Another certification that I want to talk about in this video is the CPR and First Aid license. First of all, I want to burst the myths that only people who are working in the medical industry need to take their CPR and First Aid license. In fact, anybody can take this license and it's a useful skill to have. Emergencies can occur anytime and anywhere. I don't know if it's true for everybody else out there, but I have taken my CPR and First Aid license and it gives me the confidence to save lives. I recommend that everybody should get their CPR and First Aid license, so in an emergency, instead of panicking, you can actually be useful by helping other people just because you have the knowledge to do so. This is not a fact, but just my observation that people who have their CPR and First Aid license have higher chances of getting hired. I even got a raise after I got my CPR and First Aid license, so I'd say it's definitely worth it. Just note that in order to get your CPR and First Aid certification, you will do most of your learning online, but you will have to show up at a place for a day or two in order to get some physical training as well. A lot of companies offer CPR and First Aid training. Unfortunately, some of them are scams. I will be providing the links to some of the companies that I'm aware of in the description box below. The third useful license that I want to talk about in this video is the security guard license. Most international students go for this job because it's easy and you get a lot of hours. I did this job as a floater and I had a great time. The shifts are comparatively flexible. The job itself is not that demanding, but it definitely depends on the site that you're working at and the company that you're working for. All the learning is done online and then you have to go physically in order to give a test, and if you pass, then you can get your security guard license. It's a very easy process, and in Ontario itself, there are a lot of security guard companies, some big, some small, but most of the time they're hiring. So the chances of you getting employment and staying employed are a lot more. Most companies will give you the option of either becoming a part-time security guard or a full-time security guard. The part-time security guards are usually called floaters, and they're only called when there is an emergency or when another guard who was supposed to be at a site didn't show up for whatever reason. I joined as a floater and I worked at a lot of different sites, which gave me a lot of problem handling and customer service experience. And the income is generally better than what you can make working at a fast food restaurant. The best part is that there are some security service companies that give formal training of CPR as well as security guard license, and once you get a certification through them, then you can directly get hired by them. So your employment is pretty much immediate and guaranteed. And this job is especially useful for people who are thinking of joining security services or becoming a cop in the future. So if you are considering to become a cop, then this is a great place to start. Once again, I will be providing you with some useful links in the description box below. And I also want to add that once you start working at a particular site, then don't stop learning, because in the security field, you can always learn more and grow more. I got a handcuff certification and immediately got a raise. And that is just one example of how you can gain more skills and raise your paycheck. Once you get settled at your job and your probation period is over, then please consider talking to your manager to discuss future steps for you. Alright guys, as I said before, I will be making a part 2 of this video where I will be sharing more useful certifications that can help you get better jobs and better pay in Canada. So stay tuned, give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful, and subscribe to my channel for more content from me. I'll see you in my next one. Thank you and take care.